This is the game of Kulami. To set up a basic game, randomly place all 17 of these wooden tiles so they create a square where the holes form an 8 by 8 grid. One player will take the black marbles and the other player will take the red marbles. Finally, each player will utilize a pawn to mark where their most recent marble placement was, and this will make more sense in a moment. The game is played as players take turns placing marbles on the playing field. The first player may place a marble anywhere, but after that, the following rules apply for all future turns. So the marble must be placed either horizontally or vertically in relation to the marble previously placed by your opponent. The marble cannot be placed on the same tile where your opponent just placed. And finally, the marble cannot be placed on the same tile where you previously placed. As an example, let's say the first placement was made by black here. Red must be placed on the same vertical or horizontal axis in relation to this marble here, but not on the same tile. So red decides to place here, for example. It is now black's turn, who must place on the same, again, vertical or horizontal axis as red's last turn, but not on the same tile and not on the same tile as his previous turn. So let's say he decides to place here. So players can mark their last placement with this pawn here. Now that it's red's turn, in order to indicate that this was the most recently placed marble, it's marked with this pawn. And so he knows that he must be in relation to this pawn here. And again, he cannot place here because that would be the same tile as his previously placed marble, and not here because that's the same as my opponent's previously placed marble. So maybe he decides to place here. So play continues like this, and the game ends when all marbles have been played or when either player cannot play their next marble given those restrictions mentioned before. At this point, it'll be time to score, and to illustrate this, let me show you a potential end game scenario. Okay, this is what the end of the game may look like. You can remove your pawns, but leave all the marbles in place. Then each player will take every wooden tile where the majority of the placed marbles are theirs. For example, red would take this because they have 3 versus 1. Black would take this one, they have the majority there, and this one. Red takes this. If there's ever a tie, then those are just set aside. 1 and 1 is a tie. Again, another tie. And so the players will continue taking their tiles, and then they will score based on how many holes are in each tile that they've taken. And it's not how many marbles they have. So this scores a full 4 points because there are 4 holes. This also scores a full 4 points because there are 4 holes. This would go to red because they have the majority, and they score 6 points for this because that's the number of holes in this one. So in this case, black wins because he'll have 29 total points versus 26 for red. And that is the game of Kulami.